My friends, history has always shown us one undeniable truth. Divided, humanity collapses, but united, it rises to greatness. The story of America is not the story of a single man, a single race, or a single dream. It is the story of people from every walk of life, every corner of the world, who came together with one voice, one faith, and one unshakable spirit. The phrase "United we stand" is not just a slogan. It is the very heartbeat of a nation that turned impossible odds into living proof that unity is power. When America was born, the odds were stacked against it. A group of colonies dared to dream of freedom against the greatest empire of the time. And what gave them the courage to fight? What gave them the strength to endure suffering, blood, and sacrifice? It was unity. Men and women standing shoulder to shoulder, knowing that together they were stronger than any enemy, stronger than any fear. The spirit of America has always been tested. It was tested in the Revolutionary War, when farmers and blacksmiths rose as soldiers. It was tested during the Civil War, when brother fought against brother, and yet, from the ashes, unity rebuilt a nation. It was tested in world wars, when sons and daughters crossed oceans to defend not just their country, but the very idea of freedom. And it was tested again on September 11, 2001, when terror tried to break the American soul, but instead, Americans rose united, not broken. Unity does not mean sameness. It does not mean we erase our differences. America's power comes from diversity, woven into a single fabric of hope. Different colors, different languages, different faiths, but one shared belief: liberty and justice for all. This is the spirit that makes America more than a country. It makes it a symbol, a beacon for the world. But let us be honest, unity is not easy, division is tempting, fear is easy, hate is easy, but greatness is never easy. Greatness demands the courage to forgive, the humility to listen, and the strength to put aside me, for we. So, my message is simple. Never forget the spirit of America is not found in buildings, not in money, not in weapons. It is found in the hearts of its people. When Americans stand united, there is no storm that can drown them, no darkness that can blind them, no enemy that can defeat them. United, America has soared to the moon, broken the chains of slavery, welcomed the tired and poor, and turned tragedy into triumph. United, America has been the land where impossible dreams are made possible. And united, it will continue to lead not by force, but by the example of a spirit that refuses to die. So let us declare it once more: united we stand, divided we fall. Let this not just be words in history books, but a living call to action today. For the spirit of America is not just about one nation. It is a reminder to the world: when humanity unites, there is nothing we cannot overcome. My friends, if history has taught us anything, it is this: no matter how impossible a dream may appear, unity has the power to transform it into reality. Think back to the birth of America. A group of colonies, scattered and unprepared, dared to stand against the greatest empire in the world. By every calculation, they should have lost. They had fewer weapons, less money, less training, and less support. Yet, there was one thing they had that no enemy could break: unity. Farmers, blacksmiths, mothers, and soldiers all stood shoulder to shoulder, declaring to the world, "We will be free or we will die trying." That unity turned a fragile hope into a revolution that shook the world. It turned ordinary men into leaders, ordinary women into warriors of resilience, and ordinary villages into centers of courage. What once seemed impossible independence became inevitable because they stood together. This lesson is not trapped in history. It is alive today. Look at every major victory America has ever achieved: civil rights, technological breakthroughs, even reaching the moon. None of these milestones were the work of one man or woman. They were the work of a united people, each giving their part to a cause greater than themselves. Unity multiplies strength. It takes one voice and turns it into a chorus that cannot be ignored. It takes small steps and transforms them into great leaps. The impossible becomes possible not because the struggle disappears, but because together, the weight of that struggle becomes lighter, bearable, and ultimately conquerable. So when you face a challenge that seems too heavy, too difficult, or too hopeless, remember this truth: you are not meant to carry the weight alone. Greatness is never achieved in isolation. When people unite, when hearts align, when hands join, nothing in this world can stop them. Yes, mountains may stand tall, storms may roar, enemies may threaten, but unity will always find a way through. Because divided we are weak, but united we are unstoppable. My friends, if history has taught us anything, it is this: no matter how impossible a dream may appear, unity has the power to transform it into reality. Think back to the birth of America. A group of colonies, scattered and unprepared, dared to stand against the greatest empire in the world. By every calculation, they should have lost. They had fewer weapons, less money, less training, and less support. Yet there was one thing they had that no enemy could break: unity. Farmers, blacksmiths, mothers, and soldiers all stood shoulder to shoulder, declaring to the world, "We will be free or we will die trying." That unity turned a fragile hope into a revolution that shook the world. It turned ordinary men into leaders, ordinary women into warriors of resilience, and ordinary villages into centers of courage. What once seemed impossible, independence, became inevitable because they stood together. This lesson is not trapped in history. It is alive today. Look at every major victory America has ever achieved: civil rights, technological breakthroughs, even reaching the moon. None of these milestones were the work of one man or woman. They were the work of a united people, each giving their part to a cause greater than themselves. Unity multiplies strength. It takes one voice and turns it into a chorus that cannot be ignored. It takes small steps and transforms them into great leaps. The impossible becomes possible not because the struggle disappears, but because together, the weight of that struggle becomes lighter, bearable, and ultimately conquerable. So when you face a challenge that seems too heavy, too difficult, or too hopeless, remember this truth: you are not meant to carry the weight alone. Greatness is never achieved in isolation. When people unite, when hearts align, when hands join, nothing in this world can stop them. Yes, mountains may stand tall, storms may roar, enemies may threaten, but unity will always find a way through. Because divided we are weak, but united we are unstoppable. America's greatness is not built on sameness. It is built on difference. Look at the stars on its flag. Each one shines separately, yet together they form a greater light. This is the spirit of America: many voices, many cultures, many faiths, yet one nation under God, indivisible. The strength of America has never come from erasing differences, but from celebrating them. The immigrant who came with nothing but a dream, the farmer who worked the soil, the scientist who reached for the stars, the soldier who defended freedom. All different stories, but bound by a single thread of unity. Diversity is not a weakness, it is a superpower. When different perspectives come together, new solutions are born. When different traditions merge, new cultures flourish. When different hands build, the structure is stronger. America has shown the world that diversity, when united under one cause, creates not division, but unmatched strength. Remember this: sameness is comfortable, but sameness cannot innovate. Sameness cannot heal. Sameness cannot inspire. It is diversity that challenges us to grow, to rethink, to evolve. The spirit of America is a living proof that black, white, brown, rich, poor, native, and immigrant can stand side by side and still say, "We are one." That is the true miracle of this nation. And so, let no one tell you that differences divide. No, differences enrich. They make us stronger, braver, wiser. America's future will not be written by one race or one culture, but by all voices rising together in harmony. That is the true strength of this land: unity in diversity. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. In the same way, the strongest unity is born from the hardest struggles. America's unity has always been tested, but every time it emerged stronger. Think of the Civil War, a nation torn apart, brother against brother. The pain was unbearable, yet from that struggle rose a greater America, one that abolished slavery and began a journey toward freedom for all. Think of the world wars, sons and daughters leaving home, marching into danger, not for themselves, but for the unity of mankind. And think of 9/11 when terror struck. America could have broken. Instead, it rose united, neighbors helping neighbors, strangers becoming family, grief turning into resilience. Struggle is not the enemy. Struggle is the teacher. It shows us who we are and, more importantly, who we can become when we stand together. Division cannot survive in the heat of true struggle, because when survival is at stake, people realize they need each other. So if you are going through a storm right now, remember, storms do not last forever. They may shake you, they may wound you, but they also shape you. And if you choose unity, whether in your family, your community, or your nation, that struggle will not break you. It will forge you into something unshakable. Unity forged in struggle is a unity that can never be destroyed. Division requires no effort. It is easy to hate, easy to fear, easy to blame. But greatness demands unity. Greatness requires us to rise above selfishness, above pride, above prejudice. Look around you. Divided societies collapse, divided families fall apart, divided dreams fade into dust. But when people decide to put aside their differences and come together, they build empires, they build legacies, they build futures. The easy road is always tempting. It is easier to say me than we. It is easier to point fingers than to join hands. But every great achievement in history has come not from division, but from unity. Think of the moon landing. Thousands of minds, engineers, scientists, and workers coming together to achieve what seemed impossible. One man took the step, but it was the unity of a nation that put him there. So, never confuse easy with powerful. Division is easy, but it is weak. Unity is hard, but it is unstoppable. Greatness demands sacrifice, patience, forgiveness, and the courage to stand together even when it is difficult. That is why unity is not just a choice. It is the price of greatness. Let the world hear this truth. America's greatest treasure is not its money, not its skyscrapers, not its weapons. Its true power lies in its people. Buildings can crumble, economies can fall, armies can weaken, but the human spirit, when united, cannot be broken. Every time tragedy struck America, it was not wealth that saved it. It was people. People helping neighbors, people volunteering, people giving their lives for the freedom of others. The wealth of America is not in its banks, but in its hearts. The skyscrapers of America are not made of steel, but of dreams. The armies of America are not just soldiers, they are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters united by belief, not by fear. This is a lesson for every generation. Do not measure a nation by its riches, measure it by its people. Because when people are united, wealth will come, progress will come, victory will come. But when people are divided, all the wealth in the world cannot save them. America's greatest power is, and always will be, its people. This phrase is not just for America. It is a law of life. Families, communities, nations, even the world, united they rise, divided they fall. America's story is a reminder to the entire world that unity is the greatest force humanity can possess. When people of different colors, faiths, and backgrounds stand together, they can achieve miracles. But when they let division poison them, they collapse. Look at history. Every fallen empire fell not because of outside enemies, but because of division within. But every rising nation rose because people chose unity over division, hope over despair, love over hate. The call today is simple. Let us not wait for tragedy to unite us. Let us not wait for wars or disasters to remember we are one. Let us choose unity now, because humanity's challenges, poverty, climate, inequality, injustice, can only be solved together. United we stand, not just as Americans, but as human beings. Divided we fall, not just as nations, but as humanity itself. So let this not be a slogan carved into history books. Let it be a living truth in our hearts, our families, our societies. Because when we unite, there is no dream too big, no challenge too great, and no enemy too strong. United we rise. Divided we fall.